Welcome to the Shared Desk, episode 100.
They said it couldn't be done.
They said we wouldn't make it, baby.
They said it couldn't be done. And, yeah, we actually... Oh, great. And we made it, and your camera isn't working. Oh, I'm going to have words with our daughter. I'm so going to have many words with my daughter.
You'll just have to listen to my dulcet tones.
Yeah, because she actually cooked dinner for us, everybody. And she decided to do it on her time. And because she did it on her time, that meant that we got dinner pretty freaking late. But now we've got everything up and running. Thanks, daughter! It's the Shared Desk. I am your host, T. Morris.
I thought you'd have fangs or horns or something.
I had them filed down.
Yeah, especially on days like this. And sitting across from me.
Hi, I'm Pip Valentine.
Psychologically speaking, vengeance rarely brings the catharsis we hope for.
That's what I think.
Are we ready?
You blow up news. That's our Valentine's movie.
That is our Valentines Day plans. We are going to see Birds of Prey on Valentine's Day because nothing says
Harley Quinn.
Nothing says I love you, darling, than some time with Harley Quinn.
You are so cool.
It is, and I am cool.
I know.
To be fair, our daughter did make a good dinner.
She did make a good dinner.
It just late as F.
Oh, well. Just
and
roll with it.
Whenever I'm in a hurry,
I have just come to conclusion.
It's show 100. I should have this done by now. I should be able to figure this out.
Seriously, Lana, call Kenny Loggins because you're in the danger zone.
But it is
what? I've just come to the conclusion that our family, it's just a scurry to anything.
Can I get a hell yeah?
Yeah.
Considering the day we've had today, yeah.
But guess what? We survived it. We're doing our 60-day challenge.
We're doing our 60-day challenge. I know there's some of you out there probably thinking,
nope.
Yeah, I know.
Didn't you just detox?
And get this. My trainer said, our trainer, the infamous Jackson, who's going to be on a Twitch Dad stream one day. He's talked me into doing another detox during the 60 days.
Look, that man can talk you into anything.
He is a beautiful man.
He can talk you into many things.
I mean, I'm sure.
Don't flex on Jackson.
I'm not flexing on Jackson. I'm just saying that right now there are people in our audience going,
Oh my God, I am surrounded by idiots.
But the detox worked really well.
It was, and it wasn't as bad as we thought.
And so let's see. Jen Baker is wishing us our happy 100.
Hey, Jen.
Tashi is in chat.
Hey.
Rev 3 is congratulating us.
Thanks, Nick. We made it, Nick.
Yeah, we made it. Actually, I think
in your face, Nick.
I think we made it just before. So get this, chat. Get this. Nick started podcasting with his family shortly after they met me and Pip.
Yeah.
And what's so freaking funny about that is that they were threatening to hit show 100 before we were.
So we had to do it.
We had to really put the pedal to the metal and try to make sure that we made that.
Yes.
Stragor, good to see you, by the way.
So do you remember the first day of the Shared Desk?
The very first Shared Desk. So, chat, we are going to be taking a look at 100 episodes and what we did. Now, keep in mind, I know you're probably thinking, well, if you count all the, and this is where Pip tried to see. She tried to count the dog days of Advent.
Yes. Those are too short to really count.
Dog days of Advent and dog days of summer?
No, it was the dog days of podcasting.
Yeah, so it was the dog days. It was the dog days of podcasting that we do in August.
And you did it in 2018.
I did it. Yeah,
in 2018.
I did it in 2018, and I did a podcast every day. That was not considered.
Nope.
That was not considered.
Yes,
actual
otherwise we would have got
Shared
this
Desk content.
sooner.
That was a special event. I'm sorry. We did the dog days of podcasting on Shared Desk. We did Dog Days of Advent over at Happy Hour from the Tower.
That's right. Yeah. 2018 was when you did that, and fair enough. It was something that was different to the Shared Desk. So this is our official 100.
This is the official 100th episode, and now was that 100 consistent episodes?
No,
because we started in 2011.
August 2011. We looked.
nearly 10 years ago.
No, 9 years ago.
It's taken us nearly 10 years.
It's not even 9 years. It's not even 9 years. It's technically 8 and like some months.
Nearly a decade to get 100 episodes out of us. Now
we did have some spells where it was real dry.
So we'll go on ahead and we'll address that.
We'll address that.
So it started Share Desk episode 1
in August.
They're at episode 87, by the way.
Okay.
And so for those of you who are subs, can I get some steampunk GGs in chat? If everyone else could just give GGs to Nick and his family for doing.
Who are going to show up on this retrospective?
They are going to show. Yeah, they're going to show up quite often. So Share Desk, numero uno, the very first episode, the editorial process.
Yeah, we started off. I noticed that.
We've got them all printed out here.
Yeah, we have them all printed out.
Nick. Copious notes.
Copious notes. The interesting thing I find when I was looking back at this is that we started off pretty exclusively. Let's talk about the craft.
Yeah, we did.
We've had various dog legs, side. Yeah. We get distracted, but we've also had some amazing people.
We also
friends on this show. So
we intended to start off at doing only no more than 30 minutes per episode.
That's right. When did that blow through?
No more than 30 minutes.
I don't even know if like the first 10 were.
No more than 30 minutes per episode.
I think it lasted maybe two, maybe not even two episodes.
We made it 2 episodes.
No, probably not even that far.
I think we made it. No, I honestly think we made it to. We did our intro, our episode 0, where we just said, "Oh hi."
That was very short.
That was very short
and doesn't count as an episode.
Minutes. And then we did the editorial process, which was about 27 minutes. Then I believe the writer-agent relationship with Laurie McLean that ran late. Because Lori liked to talk, and we said, "Well, we'll get it back on track," and we did it. We did get it back on track with the strategy of ebooks.
Yeah.
Then collaborating in shared universes—that's when everything fell apart.
Yeah, we didn't get very far. And you know what? Now I'm just like content if it doesn't go over an hour.
I know. Hey, if we can get a show under an hour, then
we're doing good.
Pretty much.
Hey, it's okay. You're welcome. I'm just an ordinary demiguy.
Hey. So yeah, the best laid plans of writers, usually end in an outline that we don't follow anymore.
Yeah, we're pantsing it.
We're pantsing
the show.
We've been pantsing the crap out of this podcast.
Not so much with the copious notes. This is the most notes I think we've had on any of the episodes. So
we've noticed that we have had. This is how long we've been doing this podcast. Piper J. Drake was actually PJ Schneider when she first showed up on this podcast.
Yes, later on.
Right.
So how do you want to break down? I think we should break this down into different kinds of episodes. So we have the craft episodes, like we did
some serious craft episodes.
We did some, and also there's craft stuff, and we've talked about business stuff. Then we've done quite a few episodes from different conventions that we've attended.
But I will say this, and I'm going to go out on a limb to say
and then we've had the special guest episodes.
Yeah, special guest episodes. But I do believe, I really do believe that the most listened to, commented on, and probably still cited to this day is episode 59. And for those of you who are in the audience, if you're wondering what episode 59 was, episode 59 we recorded the weekend that Penny Dreadful.
Oh, we were on a rant.
Drew to a close.
It's called Calling Shenanigans on Penny Dreadful. So you know what you're getting into.
Oh yeah.
Straight away.
Oh yeah.
We did try and stick to it from a writing point of view, so it wasn't.
But no, actually we did.
We did. We ranted about how much it made us. But we definitely tried to do it from that point of view. Yeah. So yes, there's the marketing, there's the craft, there's guests, there's things from conventions. Then there's like ones that we're a little drunk.
What? Which one? Which one?
No. We'll get to that one in a minute.
Where was it?
Oh man, when we were in alcohol, blizzards, and cosplayers, which was 51.
Oh yeah, episode 51.
But then I think there's another kind of show we do, which is where we talk about things that have been going on in the world of writing, which is usually Writers' Day. What? What? What?
Why writers do
What
what
now?
Writers do what now? Well, for example, episode 98, the RWA implosion. That sort of thing.
Yes.
So
But it's
all right.
far from the only scandal that we sort
Oh
of
man, we've
covered
quite a bit. Okay.
about there.
So so right now I would love to see I would love to see Fox with the host. Thank you very much. Thank you, Fox, for joining
thanks,
us.
Fox.
So I guess where we should start is where all right, so we've done quite a few guest shows.
Yes, so
We've
we've had
done
some
quite a few guest
people.
shows and interview shows. So the question is,
Who was so Laurie was our first guest,
yeah,
and then PJ Schneider, Piper J. Drake, was our second that I think.
yeah. But I think of all the guests that we've had, I mean, yeah, we've had quite a few guests. But here's the question: who holds the title of being on the show more than anybody?
I don't know. Now Nick and Stacia Kelly have been on there quite a few times.
They have been.
And so
They
has
have
Piper J. Drake and Matt Drake. They've
Yep.
also been on there quite a few times. Lauren Scribe Harris. Also been on there.
Yep.
But I feel like it's Katie Brisky who's definitely...
Really? Katie Brisky holds the title?
Yeah, I feel like she holds the title. You could count them up, but I'm pretty sure she was on the show where Matt and PJ were. She was in there as well.
Yeah. Well, there's All About Stone Coast with Katie Brisky. What's a Writer Internship with Katie Brisky? Let's see. There was the beer episode. The beer.
Oh,
with
we did
Katie
talk
Brisky.
about... There's a bit of beer talk.
There's
a bit of beer talk.
there. I don't know what that has to do with.
I don't
what that had to
know.
do
What
with-
writers... It was Writers Off the Clock, I think, that we
that's
talked
probably
about
an
there.
entire Writers Off the Clock episode.
Yeah.
Katie Brisky and Grants. Let's see. There's
I think...
Katie Brisky on the Post Retreat. So yeah, I think I'm starting to lose track now. There's a lot.
It's Katie Brisky's show. Katie Brisky's show. But if you actually look here on episode 30, which is, I feel like, a landmark Katie Brisky situation. What's a writer's internship?
Yeah, the one and only time we've ever had a writer intern with us.
That's right, and she was here for I want to say 3 weeks, right? It was 2 or 3 weeks at least.
It was a month. I thought it was a
Maybe
full
it was a month.
Oh no, you know what it was? It was 3 weeks because it was February. It was February when she interned with us.
That's before she had like a proper day job and a cat.
That's right.
So she could do that.
So the real question is, what did we do in that? And that's what episode 30 was. Is what do you do with a writer? Or how do you make them intern?
Yes.
What is it? And honestly,
she was talking about that we taught her social media and how to there were quite a few things that she felt that she got out of that.
The biggest lesson that I gave her during that internship was when I told her about video. I taught her video editing.
That's right.
I don't know if she actually took advantage of that in any way, but that was
maybe these days.
And Rev 3 is saying that that might have been where she met. That's why it might have been where she met.
It might do. So Nick and Stacia have also been on 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, quite a few. Quite a few. Oh, we did episode 48, a writer's look at Star Wars with Nick and Stacia.
Yeah, that's right. We had them in studio.
And I think, again, we were trying to keep it on like a writerly track.
On a writerly track. I think we kept it mainly on a writer's track. We've done a lot of pop culture shows with writerly perspectives. Like we did Wonder Woman from a writerly perspective with MK.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we did that.
So
one.
we've had
That
a
was
couple
fun
of people who have been on once, not because we don't like them, but because sometimes hard to pin people down.
Yeah.
But we've had Alex White. We've had Tim Dodge.
Yep.
We've had MK. She of the Ellen.
She of the Ellen.
She
Ellen
of the Ellen.
DeGeneres fame.
Nobilis has also been on.
Scribe and Scribby.
Scribe and Scribby. Yes. Well, actually, Scribe has been on quite a few times.
And you almost missed this one. We also did Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
From the writing desk with Laura Nicole.
That's right.
And that was or Spence, as she's been going
Spence,
by.
yes.
And that was
because it's been 9 years. Some people's things have nom de plumes and names have changed.
There have been.
I love this one. I did like episode 25, an audience with Alex White, master collaborator.
Is that what? Oh my God, you're right.
We did give him that one.
I forgot.
You know, the other thing that we have talked about quite a bit is Smoky Writers.
The Smoky Writers
We did
a big one.
We did back in, I think 2014 was the first one, and we did episode 28 reflecting back on that.
Yeah.
And I think pretty much every year we've either done a recording at Smoky Writers or we have talked about it afterwards.
Yeah. When everybody would
sometimes
come by.
I think there's an episode where we had Matt, PJ, and Katie.
We actually had an episode where it was Matt, PJ, Katie, Lauren. We crammed a lot.
That's right.
Of
That was
people.
probably our biggest one.
That's the biggest thing we have ever held.
We had to
in
use
here.
all the microphones,
all the mics,
there.
all the jacks. It was crazy.
It was fun. I mean,
So-
look at this. It's fun stuff.
Yeah, it's
Enjoyed. Sometimes it's been a struggle to get them out, but
Well, that brings me to episodes 38 and 39. It was episode 38 is wait, what? It's November. Followed by episode 39. Wait, what? It's 2015. So let's talk a little bit about that, about the challenges, and I'm sure Nick can also attest to this. The challenges of doing a podcast.
yes.
Trying to I think the best I've ever done with a podcast has been actually Happy Hour for the Tower.
Yes, I think you're pretty consistent about that.
Well, we were. The first year we did Happy Hour from the Tower. We actually were. We did an episode a week, and we did not miss a week for the entire first year. In fact, we even went full on. We went full on the week that Destiny 2 dropped, and we did an episode every week leading up to the Destiny 2.
So we haven't been that. I think
No, we've never been that.
recently since we did
Since we started
91, yeah, since we've been
Since we started
streaming, we've
streaming.
started to be a little bit. I just noticed that I never noticed this until right now that we actually did 2 episodes on ending a series.
Yeah,
we did one on the 17 episode 17 and one on 85.
And I can tell you what those 2 were about. Episode 17 was when you wrapped up.
The Books of the Order?
Books
Yeah.
of the Order. And then the second one was when we talked about wrapping up
The Ministry?
The Ministry from Books and Brawn's
The
perspective.
Books and Brawn stories, yeah.
Red 3 Dude does comment, editing is the goddamn devil. And it is why I will never do a video podcast because I will kill everyone on the Eastern Seaboard.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Y'all jokers must be crazy.
Well, that's the thing this is the this is the biggest, I would say, challenge is trying to get the podcast to be where you want it to be where you how you want it to sound, mixing, I mean, all that stuff.
Yeah.
There are some folks that they prefer, hey, you know what I'll do? I'm going to just release it into the wild and it will be beautiful.
We've never
we've
been
never
those
that
people.
way.
But I will say that obviously when you've got a choice between, should I spend time with my family? Do I finish my deadline or do I podcast? Unfortunately, that's why sometimes we've fallen off the radar.
I mean, right now
I think like 3 or 4 months was probably the worst we had it at one stage.
No, I think it's even worse than that. There was one year where we produced, I think, 4 episodes in the entire freaking year.
Well, that's 3. That's one every 3 months.
Okay. You got.
But
me there.
there's definitely
right.
been years where it's been easier to get a podcast out every 2 weeks, and so far, I think. Oh, that's not wood. That's my head. My head.
Me head.
I think we're doing reasonably okay recently.
We're doing better. I will say this. I think streaming, which we started. When did
we
we
started
stream our
doing
first episode?
that back in. It's in here somewhere.
It was actually in 2018, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. I did post that.
Yeah, episode 90. 10 episodes ago. We're live on Twitch.
Yeah.
Episode 90. We're live on Twitch.
And I think that's when we started to really.
We started to fall back into a better pattern.
Yeah. I mean, I think the last couple we've been getting one out every other week.
So I'm going to turn it over to chat. I know there are some folks that have been listening to Shared Desk from the very beginning.
9 years
ago. For those of you who are new to the Shared Desk, first off, I'm T. Morris. This is my wife, Pip Valentine. We are writers. And we started up this podcast many years ago to talk primarily about collaboration.
Yes.
And then it just sort of evolved into the stream that you're seeing right now, where we riff, where we talk about pop culture, we talk about daily life, we talk about a lot of stuff.
We have. Did we start off with Writers Off the Clock and Eagle versus Kiwi.
we start off
Eagle
with
versus Kiwi didn't last too long
because we couldn't find a lot of stuff that
we disagreed on.
Well, that, and also it wasn't like we could talk about rugby, or we could talk.
We did talk about rugby once.
We did talk about rugby and how I couldn't really side with the United States on rugby.
Yeah,
because we don't have
it wasn't really
a decent
versus.
rugby team.
There was no versus in
There was
that
no versus in
situation.
that. We actually saw that live and in person. There really was no versus. Then you've got, and then of course there was the sketch that we retired because Charlie Sheen
became a little problematic.
It became a little too problematic, and but it was writing advice with Crazy Uncle Charlie. But I think he ended on a good note because if I remember correctly, Crazy Uncle Charlie, Rev3 dude, gifting a sub to Vextel. Thank you very much, Vextel. I do appreciate that. And Rev3 dude, of course. Yes, thank you, Nick. Thanks for doing that.
Thank you, Nick.
So anyway, so Crazy Uncle Charlie. Let me explain.
Do we have to explain it?
Yeah, we should. Right as we launched the shared desk, Charlie Sheen had his
meltdown,
his meltdown, his breakdown, whatever you want to call it, where he was saying things like "duh, winning" and all this, and
an F-14 of awesome,
an F-14 of awesome. So I went on ahead and I created this persona called Crazy Uncle Charlie, and we all talked.
Mostly, it was you in a robe and a hat.
Tiger blood.
Like pretending to smoke a cigar or cigarette or whatever.
Yeah, I would, and I'd actually do this in the studio. I would put on a trilby, some sunglasses, and I'd just take a pen. And I used to do this for a while, and then I put on my Crazy Charlie voice, and then
it would freak everybody out.
It freaked. It was.
But you would
crazy.
also do it at conventions.
Now, at conventions where
it's funny AF.
It's funny at conventions. We did a convention where Crazy Uncle Charlie came on, and of course this is before we streamed, so. There was only the audio, but when I was doing it live, I would come out in a bathrobe. I would come out with a bathrobe, pajama bottoms, and again a fake cigarette, just dangling from my lips, and sunglasses.
And in fact, I think there's a video of it on the shared desk somewhere.
Yeah.
Also not counted as an actual episode.
Not counted as an actual episode because I was riffing off the top of my head.
Yeah, and it was.
But yeah, the Crazy Uncle Charlie was fun. And I think it reached its pinnacle when
I think it ceased to be fun after a while.
It ceased to be fun after what happened when Charlie Sheen was diagnosed HIV positive. We were like, we can't do this anymore.
No, wrap that up.
But
also, the Me Too movement is pretty.
The Me Too movement was also pretty big there. But it reached its pinnacle when I did a duet with Lauren Scribe Harris.
Of Baby It's Cold Outside.
It's Cold Outside. And some people have called it the definitive Baby It's Cold Outside next to Dean Martin's, which is something I've strived for.
Well, okay.
I mean, why not?
It is a version of it.
It is a version. But we wanted to say for all the long time, but that is basically the oeuvre of the shared desk. But I want to put it out there to any of the listeners. Did you all have, over these 100 episodes, over these 9 years of doing this podcast, were there any standout episodes you wanted us to talk about?
Now, I know somebody...
We've got quite a few here, obviously.
I know that one of the ones that people have listened to and used, and people told me it was useful, was episode 23, which was a writer's kit and giveaway swag.
Oh, geez.
Because we
could probably have updated that.
We could do an update on it. But it's certainly
which is you can come up with really cool swag, but don't be the writer's lapdog. Just don't be the writer's lapdog.
You mean readers?
Huh? Yeah, don't be the reader's lapdogs. Yeah, that's right. So all right, let's go ahead and let's unpack that. One of the things that I've noticed, not even before some of the romance conventions we've gone to, where people try to outswag one another.
Yes. It's like a nuclear arms race.
Yeah,
it doesn't end
swag
well.
Wars. It's swag wars, and the it's bad. It's bad when people get like a bag out, and then they start judging see the quality of the swag. And I remember standing there
pretty
going,
like
that's completely off the point now, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And
And you can spend a butt ton of money. I mean,
yeah.
people were giving away Kindles and all sorts
It was
of things.
ridiculous. It was
I mean,
as swag.
swag. So
But
we probably could do an update on that. Maybe we should write down some of the things that maybe we might
could.
want to revisit.
We could. Did you want to take copious notes on that?
No,
You
no,
want me-
no. You just take a copious.
Okay.
Just put a little thing next.
Which one was that? Episode
23.
Yeah, okay.
Because
So I'll start
that
one.
would be a revisit.
I can tell you right now, the Penny Dreadful one will not get a revisit. Even though people are saying, "Well, T, aren't you going to give it a second chance?" The answer is no.
He's
Listen
not.
to the episode, you'll see why. Even if it's Natalie Dormier taking her clothes off, the answer is still no.
I don't know about taking her clothes off. She's in it.
I'm just going to leave that alone. I mean, if you haven't seen Game of Thrones, watch the two.
Oh my
What
gosh!
I mean. Exactly what I mean. But
Oh my gosh!
but that's probably going to be edited out. So
It is. I'm in charge of editing. Taking
Anyway.
that bit out.
But the answer is no. I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be clocking in anytime with the new Penny Dreadful because I got burned once. I'm not going to get burned again. Okay, going back to the swag thing though. Even before then, so we were at Book Expo America. We being me and I'm bringing this up because we're getting ready to work on the 4th edition.
Oh my gosh! You're going back even further
I'm
than.
going back even further to the pre-days of
Yes, let me tell you about before
my day.
twitching.
before the Twitch, when I was doing podcasting for dummies, people were coming up to Book Expo, were coming up to our booth, and they were asking for the booth swag. Most of the time at the booths, they would be giving out books, fully published, ready to go books, right? Well, when they were asking me, they said, "Oh, is your book coming out?" I said, "Yes, it is." And they said, "I'd like to see it." And I would pull out a sample because since Podcasting for Dummies was a brand new book, they were not going to. Would you mind going upstairs and telling our daughter that she needs to turn it down a decibel?
Yeah, una mamonte.
Yeah. This will be edited out, of course. I'll wait until Pip is out of earshot. Okay, great. So, the magic of being live, chat. The magic of being live. So, anyway, let's try this again.
And I'll shut the door for added effect.
Well, then turn the fan on because we're going to need the fan because it's going to get real warm in here real quick.
We're warm people.
Yeah. So anyway, so they say, well, have you got a copy? And I would hand them the sample because it was a brand new book, and Wiley, of course, wants people to buy the new book. And I lost count how many people looked at the sample and looked at me as if to say, "That's the best you've got."
Mm-hmm. But that's BEA.
That's BEA. No, honey, that's not BEA. That is every freaking book convention I think you and I have been to. Oh yeah.
I don't think so. People don't expect to get books? No, they don't. I disagree with that.
Well, but I would say that it's
There is a
that
certain
level, there's a level of swag you get from BEA.
Yes, there is. But there is also somewhat of a entitlement thing that readers are sort of... And it's totally the writer's fault that they have... They have escalated it to the point where it's just ridiculous.
And it's even gotten even worse now because now it's not just the swag. It's now the actual books themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had friends that have been told, you need to write faster.
Otherwise, I'm not investing in following.
Yeah. And I'm like, wow, really?
So I think, we were talking about authors making a rod for their own back by giving away things for 99 cents.
Oh.
In fact, we did an episode on that.
Which one was that?
It was recently.
Was it recently?
Something about... we definitely have talked about it.
Oh yeah. There was one. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, we did.
Kill Your Darlings.
I think it was the recent one.
Because they're all in here. No, I don't think it was that. I didn't think it was that recent.
Well, maybe we did, but we would.
Pip is learning new things. Authors behaving badly. That's one.
It might have been that. Yeah. Oh yes. There's been so many things about authors behaving badly. In fact, we discussed whether we should be talking about American Dirt instead of doing a retrospective.
Yeah.
But I think a 100th episode should be a milestone and should be marked thus.
Oh, absolutely. Now, well, there's Kindle Unlimited, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. We have talked about it.
There was one where I remember we were talking about it because we used as the drop-in "Give It Away" from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
We
We
did.
kept dropping it in, going "Give it away, give it away, give it away." And I had it stuck in my head for a real long time.
It's not a bad song to have stuck in your head.
No, it's not at all.
But yeah, so I think authors have, over the past nearly decade that we've been doing this, been making a rod for their own back in various ways, giving away content like it was candy, until the point where the readers kind of have devalued a book. They're like, oh, it's not 99 cents. Well, I don't want to read it.
Yeah.
Not all readers, but there is
Hashtag not all readers.
But there is a significant amount of people who have just been like, yeah, I want my everything 99 cents or free.
And
so
now you see, and that I think has been something that that's just internet entitlement in a nutshell. I really believe that.
Yeah, but fostered by writers.
Well, yeah,
in this case.
It was fostered by writers, podcasters, content creators. I think the idea of, well, it should be free. It's on the internet, so it should be free. Now, and Goodreads, yeah, I would also say that too,
Wow.
Nick. That Goodreads has also made
Yeah.
it sort of a thing of like, well, I should get it for free, and the
I used to like, when we started off doing this podcast, I liked Goodreads, and we did do, we've talked about Goodreads a couple of times.
Yeah.
But Goodreads has now become such
It's sort of become a toxic,
hive
yeah,
of scum and villainy,
yeah.
that many authors...
Episode 84, what's going on with Goodreads?
Yeah. It's become such a
Cesspool.
toxic...
Cesspool.
Yeah, toxic cesspool
Yeah.
that many authors are loath to go in there.
Right. Exactly.
And
exactly.
That's unfortunate, because
It really is. It really is. It's because it started off with great intentions, just like LiveJournal, and and so there's
Well, one of the things I noticed about Goodreads that people have recently-ish started doing is they mark a book. They mark a book 1 star when the book hasn't even come out, because they want to remember that they want to read it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
which is
that's
ridiculous.
actually negatively affecting the authors.
yeah.
So if you do like it, it's
I remember
not good.
we had all these 1-star reviews.
That's right.
For
Endgame.
Was it? Yeah, it was Endgame.
Endgame.
And Endgame wasn't even out for another 2 months.
And we were like, what's happening? And people
what's
were
going
like,
on with that?
oh, yeah, we do
I'm
that.
just marking it for another time.
Oh, can you mark it some other way?
So Arkham Studios, hey Arkle, good to see you. I gave my one novel away for free about a month before I took it down from Lulu. 2 people took me up on it. Oh well, it had aged horribly in the 11 years I was selling it, so no big loss. Here's the thing.
Well, that's the interesting thing. You and I have taken books down over the span of this podcast as well.
Oh yeah, we've taken books down. I'm still okay. I'm okay with giving away short stories for 99 cents.
Yeah.
I'm okay with giving away
or short-term promotional things.
And we still have free fiction on Amazon. And we still have free fiction in our podcast.
We actually are still giving away the Ministry Protocol for free, because that is a reason to do that. Is one, it's to help promote the authors that are within that book as well.
Yeah.
And it is also to get people to look into the ministry a bit.
So that opens up a really good debate, and maybe one that we could also make a note of on is the value of short stories.
Yeah.
Because the thing about short stories is that the short stories market is kind of foobarred. It's been foobarred for a long time, and that's the thing. It has been foobarred for a long time.
There are limited markets for you to sell short. Now, anthologies, which you find in Kickstarter particularly,
right.
That's where a lot of short fiction is found, and a lot of good markets can be found, as long as the Kickstarter is funded.
Yes.
So
Yes.
So yeah, I think we have talked about strategies for using short-term, dropping the price to 99 cents or even free, though I actually don't do that anymore. Right. 99 cents, like I talked about it, and here I think that's probably Pip Lynn's new things, was talking about making for a short time Curse of the Silver Pharaoh 99 cents to lead into the.
Right.
To lead into the series. And in fact, when the 3rd book comes out, Monkey God, I'll probably do that again.
So Sun actually brings up a pretty good question. What do we think about Wattpad? One of my biggest problems with Wattpad.
Yeah.
First off, I think it's a great platform for people to be sharing stories.
Oh yeah,
and
a lot of
stuff like
fan
that.
fiction and stuff is spread.
And also doing original stuff on Wattpad, I think is great as well. My only concern is that I've seen some publishers and I've seen some agents ask to have stuff put on Wattpad. And they do it almost in a competitive sort of Thunderdome kind of
Really?
thing, where it's like you're auditioning. It's like you're auditioning in real time, and I think Wattpad,
but without Tina Turner.
Yeah. And Thunderdome without Tina Turner is
it's not a Thunderdome you want to be in.
Exactly. The other thing too is that my only concern is that Wattpad could dangerously become the place where you are doing work for free.
Yes.
And
which again is another rod for a writer's back.
Yes.
Or any freelancing sort of thing.
But that's been the problem, I think, with short stories in general. Short stories, the market pretty much like at one time in print, the only place you could go was either Asimov or fantasy and science fiction, and that was it. And the gatekeeper, it was one dude who was the gatekeeper, and pretty much it was a who's who of science fiction.
But if anyone in you wanted to get in, it was hard.
Yeah, it was very difficult.
Now, to be fair, the Escape Pod and Podcastle, they are paying markets now for short stories.
Paying markets, and there was a lot of beef given to them, even though
they were paying market.
They were paying market, and they were paying SIFL rates.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact was that a lot of the people who were already cemented as short story authors, they were like, well, I don't know how to write for a podcast. And it's like, it's simple. You write a story.
You write a short story.
And that's it. That's how you submit it.
It's also quite a good place for, like, if you have a short story that you've just like got back from an anthology or something, and you're doing secondary rights for Podcastle or.
But one of the other things
Pod.
that I would argue that led to the pushback for something like Podcastle and Escape Pod was the fact that the old guard didn't know who was in charge.
Yeah.
And because it was somebody new, and it was something, they were terrified of it.
Yeah.
And I find that very short-sighted on their part.
Yes, I think. Well, Sifwa has gone through during the course of this 100 episodes.
During the course of these 100 episodes,
Sifwa has gone through some stuff. A lot of stuff. A lot of shakedowns.
Some good, some bad.
A little chat. I think on the whole, it's improved.
On the whole, it's been better.
It still can be better, but it's got people like Mary Robinette Gnoll. Scalzi, people
involved.
who have kind of shepherded it in the general direction, and there of course have been ruptions along the way. Certain things that were posted in the magazine that caused ruptions.
Oh, jeez, I remember that.
But yeah, on the whole, I think Sifwa has definitely improved, and I hope that RWA comes out of it and the other sort of side of it.
One of the things I think
because we do need trade organizations.
Yeah, we do. No, I
to protect
totally
authors.
Agree. I totally agree. And I also think that short stories, at least when it comes to free fiction or affordable fiction or what have you, I still think there's a demand for print fiction.
Yes,
and I think
there's definitely is.
Oh, yeah, and I still think there's a demand for anthologies, but I see it more like you were saying. I see anthologies working better for Kickstarter projects than I do for mainstream publishers and things along those lines.
Yeah, there've been problems with Kickstarters. It's sort of
yes, there have been
because they're connected with
been involved with.
Yeah, because at the back end of it, it's generally run by small press.
Yeah,
and small press, as we have discussed many times, can fall over. And so a project that I was involved in that was very well funded, I had artwork and all of this thing, and the thing is a brick. Hath No Fury was it went through some troubles because the people who started the Kickstarter could not finish it.
Yeah.
Suddenly the money had disappeared, and so but luckily
they were robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah, and which is always it's always going to catch up with you.
That's always going to catch up with you.
But they managed to pull it together, and somebody else bought them and did a good job of it.
Yeah.
And now it's a brick you can kill zombies with.
But as far as short fiction on a whole, at least for when it comes to us, we don't mind giving some of our short fiction away for free.
Yes.
We definitely don't mind podcasting it for free.
Yes.
That will never change. Now I do think though.
Well, Patreon has come along
right
and changed things for me because I'm now producing a short story a month.
Right.
And
what is that Patreon again?
That would be patreon.com/PJ Valentine. Link in the show notes.
Yeah.
But Patreon is also fueling this sort of short fiction. Now you have to have some people who are interested in your short fiction. Otherwise, it can be very disheartening.
Yeah.
But for me, it was great because I was able to produce an anthology, and I probably am nearly at the point where I can produce a second one, Creative Indulgences.
Right.
And I released it 1 year ago today.
Oh, congratulations,
Yes.
baby. Congratulations. Nicely done.
So,
Nicely done.
Hail to the king, baby.
Well, the queen in this case.
queen.
But yeah, the queen. Who's queen? But yeah, that's the one I need to get for you. I need to get Miranda Richardson saying, "Who's queen?"
So I actually think in some respects short fiction has undergone a bit of a renaissance with just a lot more different options available for people.
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily have to just stick to the traditional short fiction markets that from the 60s, 70s, 80s.
So
Last decade.
Right, the last decade. So some of the other things that I noticed we've done in these in the past 100 episodes have also been live recordings.
Yes.
At different conventions that we've gone to. I remember specifically one that was really a lot of fun was the live recording we did at the SIFWA Nebula Awards Conference.
What episode was that?
That was episode 75. Episode
75.
And the thing I remember about that, the reason why I think that one stuck in my head so much was that we didn't even plan to do a recording.
Yeah.
We were just sitting there and we were part of a giant, I don't even know how we got drafted into it, but there was this massive signing that they were doing. And
that's right. Yeah, I remember that's
and we didn't have any books.
That's right. And so we went around and interviewed different people.
We didn't go anywhere. We had people come to us.
That's right.
And what we did was I said
so tell us about your
I remember how it went. We basically were sitting at a table, and for the first like 10-15 minutes we just sat there, and we were supposed to be there for what, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and it was getting a little sad because nobody had our books.
Yeah.
They had a bookstore.
Yeah.
And we were told, "Oh yeah, your books will be in stock." We get there and they had Geist, and I think they had the second.
That's right.
They had the Janus Affair.
Lesson learned: always carry some of your stock with you.
Always carry some stock. Always carry some stock, because man, that was depressing. And we sat there for about 15 minutes, and I said, "Hun, I've got my H4. Why don't we just start podcasting for me?
Yeah.
Let's just record a podcast."
That was very fun, and so people came up to us and were like, "What's a podcast?"
What's a podcast? And we just did the whole show off the cuff, right there, and we met some really, really impressive people.
It was fun.
It was really
fun.
cool. It was
you
really
know, our very first show that we took on the road was to RT in New Orleans.
Nolans. No, not RT. Authors After Dark.
Oh, sorry, Authors After Dark in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Man, that was a time.
That was a time.
We can remember most of it.
It's kind of a blur. I lost a suit. I remember that.
That's right. That really sticks in our minds.
I lost a suit, and then after I got back from New Orleans, I lost my job.
Yeesh.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh,
that
we did Demicon.
All right, so Demicon. Demicon was
hella fun. You were the guest of honor.
I was the guest of honor, and we did the same thing. The H4N, by the way, as far as it's got something else we've talked about. It's been told. I think we've talked about podcasting gadgets. Maybe we have.
Maybe we haven't.
But
we haven't, maybe we should.
Maybe we should. I'll write that down. Podcast.
You know, podcasting for writers. You know what you need. What you
streaming.
Yes.
And streaming now. Gadgets. So anyway, we were at Demicon in beautiful Des Moines, Iowa. It's weird. That is the second time today I've talked about Des Moines, because I was talking about
that is strange.
When we were doing our 60-day challenge kickoff event, we were doing something where I mentioned cardio. I said first rule, cardio. First rule is cardio. You got to make sure you get your cardio. And this random woman came up to me and said, remember, the double tap. The second rule of the apocalypse is
oh my gosh, really?
And she started quoting verbatim. She started quoting Zombieland. And that was when I said, okay, I got to tell this woman about this place in Des Moines, Iowa. The place that we went to in Des Moines, Iowa was called Zombie Burger Lab. Zombie Burger Lab.
Oh, so many good memories.
Yeah, and we talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
So there's this place in Des Moines, Iowa called Zombie Burger Lab. You go in there and you do not order a burger, a double burger, or a triple burger. You order a single, a double, or a triple tap.
And it had zombie
everything had
things
zombie
in it. Oh, there's
themes,
so many
everything-
good.
and-
Talking about these 100 episodes has brought back some really great
Yeah,
memories.
It really has.
Really does.
But anyway, so we were in Des Moines, Iowa.
With
PC
Herring.
PC Herring was out there.
Mel Fox.
And
Christina Payton.
Christina Payton flew out to Des Moines because I was as far west as we were getting that year. And Allie Grauer was there.
Yes, now Allie.
Allie drew something Polish. That's the best I can do.
We will make a link in the show notes because she has a book out.
She does. Well,
Yes.
yeah.
A re-release, I think.
A re-release of on the Isle of Sound and Wonder.
Ah, yes.
Basically, it's a steampunk tempest, and it's released under Alison Grauer, Grauer, and she's actually written. If the name sounds familiar,
yes,
she has written several times for the Ministry of Peculiar Occurrences,
which you can now find in the collections.
Which you can find in the collections. We've made some good memories over the.
Yeah.
We've made some good memories over the time, but
I just want to know what episode 45 is.
Which
The
one's
world
episode
is full of disturbing books.
Okay, I remember that one.
You do?
I remember episode
don't.
45. Okay, so episode 45, this came on the tail end of a book that came out where this woman wrote this absolute racist piece of white trash.
Oh,
About
okay.
a place where they called the...
That's right, now it's coming back to me.
They called the people of color coals, and they called the white people pearls. And oh my god, it was all released under science.
You know,
fiction.
we could just do the shared desk just on writers being idiots.
Just writers being idiots, man. And then we started digging. We started trying to find the weirdest, goofiest, and we did. We found these. We obviously did not mention any of the authors.
No, because that's just rude.
That's just rude. But we did talk about some of the really disturbing plot lines that we had come across in our travels,
and that was The World is Full of Disturbing Books.
The World is Full of Disturbing Books. That was a fun one.
Yeah, that was a good one. You know,
another
another really fun one was episode 51, the ABCs, Alcohol, Blizzards, and Cosplayers.
So that
is a very special episode.
That's a very special episode because that features that features the Hot Topic
crew.
The Hot Topic crew. So, and we were still kind of having, we were coming off the jitters.
Yeah, because so it was the time when Verena Vossarts came over from Germany, didn't know us, from a bar of soap, placed her hands, her fate in our hands, and that we weren't serial killers.
Yep.
And the first weekend, we were like, should we do the photo shoot this weekend or should we do it in the second? We go, we'll probably do it in the first weekend, which turned out to be a very good
move on our
because
part.
The next weekend, there was some slight snow when we did the photo shoot, but the next weekend it came. I think that's probably the most snow I've seen since I've been here.
Yeah.
Was definitely that weekend, and it started on a Thursday.
And it was very sweet.
And we were in there for 5 days.
Verena said, "Well, maybe they'll dig us out. Maybe
we went,
they'll clear."
Bless.
Bless. That's not going to happen.
You don't know the
darling.
people around here.
Yeah. At one point, she actually was helping us shovel snow. Our supermodel was actually helping us shovel snow, and I remember she stopped. Now this is a girl from Bavaria.
Yes, they get a lot of snow.
Some snow. She has seen some snow, and she just stopped, looked at me, and said, "Gee, this is a lot of snow.
This is not of snow.
This is a lot of snow." And we're like, "Yep, it certainly is." But this was all around the week, the same week that we had to deal with stuff like we were driving from. So the week this all happened was the same week.
Well, they knew this big storm was coming.
They knew this big storm was coming.
So
about 2 or 3 days beforehand, they had no idea.
Apparently, did not look at
the patterns.
The patterns quite well enough.
And Pip, myself, Christina, and Verena, we all got caught coming out of Delaware.
Oh, yeah.
And there was an ice storm, like a major
And they
ice
hadn't
storm.
pre-treated anything.
Nothing. It was
an ice rink.
Crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah, and it was you and Verena was up the front.
Yeah.
I think Verena's on the front, and she was very German. She was like, just stay on your lines. Do not move.
She was a fantastic co-pilot. She was my Chewbacca to my Han Solo. and considering the ice that was coming down, it was like we were in hyperspace.
It was.
We then we were.
They were going out on the weekend.
Right.
I think Christina was supposed to go out on the Sunday,
the Saturday, and then Verena was supposed to go on the Sunday. And then what happened was that we were coming back. We knew that the storm was coming, and so the last thing we did was we stocked up on. I said, okay, we're going to stock up on two things. We're going to stock up on booze, and we're going to stock up on pulled pork.
Yes.
So what happened was we got a big pork shoulder, and we were letting that defrost. And while that was defrosting, Verena, Christina, and I, we all went out to Fox Distillery
and Pen Druid.
And that was where we finally found a beer.
Thank God.
That Verena liked.
She was almost about to leave without finding any beer that she liked.
And
as you came back, the snow was just starting.
Yeah, with the snow was just starting. Well, we had like 2 growlers of beer.
Mm-hmm.
We had some prime whiskey, and I started making.
That's right. And Verena, you made pulled pork, and Verena made chai.
Yeah. Yeah,
and it was a lovely 5 days.
It was a great 5 days.
We had food. We didn't need to go anywhere.
We just stayed in our jam. And Sunny, the daughter, she just was.
It was a great. We played lots of board games.
We were in gym
and apparently
jams,
we
did this podcast.
and we recorded a podcast.
Now there was that was a fun one. That was a fun one. The other one I think I've seen us do a lot of in here have been stuff about social media.
Yes. We wrote a book about it.
Oh, we did.
So yeah, and
developments of social media for authors, the value of social media, and your ability to block people.
We're actually kind of hoping that we might get to do another edition of social media for writers.
It needs it.
Yeah, Writers Digest, who originally contracted us to buy the book, and we were just about to approach them for would you like another edition?
Yeah.
And they went belly up, which was very surprising.
That was a shock.
That was a shocking.
Shock to the system
we've seen a few publishers come and go in this 9-year spell as well.
One that hasn't gone anywhere though, I do have to give props to. Dragon Moon Press.
Yeah.
The one that brought us together, Dragon Moon Press.
Yeah.
So good on them.
Good on Gwen.
Good on Gwen. So, chat, we are going to go ahead and we're going to wrap up the show, but we're going to have our post chat show, obviously, because we still have a little bit that we can riff about. But I did want to go ahead and clock in some time with you all and just say, hey, how's it going? Let's talk.
Thanks for sticking with us for 100 episodes.
For 100 episodes, this has been a fantastic ride, and I remember when Pip told me that she wanted
this is
to
all
do
my
a
fault.
podcast. Yeah, it is. And
I will take
then
that.
She started talking about it in interviews,
and you were going, "Shut up!"
and then sure enough, at one point she was just like, "Yeah, we're starting a podcast this month." I was like, "All right,
look where it's got us."
Yeah, but you know what? That's the thing.
At least I have chicken.
I had chicken. At least I had chicken. But
yeah. It's been fun, and we've had some fantastic people on there, and it's been great to share our friends with you guys.
I don't mind saying it.
Share our events with you guys.
I don't mind saying it. Probably the best thing that happened from this podcast has been getting to know the Kellys.
Yes,
it was because of this podcast we got to know the Kellys.
Yes,
and when I say the Kellys, I mean Nick, Stacia, and Brandon.
Yeah.
Which
has led to so many things, including Dungeons and Dragons.
There's been Dungeons and Dragons. There's
meetups at our local coffee shop.
Yeah, there have been happy hour from the tower.
Mm-hmm.
It really has been an absolute blast getting to know the Kellys, and we first met them on episode 24. We didn't know them from a bar soap. And we met at a Right by the Rails.
Local event.
Local event. We were doing a talk about
collaboration.
Collaborating couples.
That's right.
And I remember we said we said, would you mind if we recorded this for a podcast?
They were like,
and they both looked at each other. They looked at me and they said, we don't know what that is, but sure, why not? They pull out the gadget, and Nick's eyes got huge. He's like,
that's when it started. I want gadgets.
And then the next thing I knew, we're here. And I told Nick, I remember when Nick said, hey, man, because of you, I'm launching a podcast. I said, dude, you got to be careful. You got to be careful.
That's how it spreads.
You mother forking shirt balls are okay. But that's the funny thing was that
you infected them with the podcast.
I remember telling Nick, I said, if you do one, you will not be able to stop.
You need the hit. You're going to
get another one. And sure enough, happy hour. And now ADHDDnd.com. I mean,
the Geek Wolfpack
podcast. First one's free. Exactly. First
hit's free.
First hit's free, baby.
I got to pay after that. And by pay, we mean buying a lot of
gadgets. But just remember these words, Nick. Just remember these words. But honey, it's for the studio. All right. All the cool kids are doing it. Well, these two aren't. I mean, anyway. So, thank you, everybody. This has been this show has flown by, but we're gonna do a post show. Remember that the Share Desk is protected by a non-commercial, no derivative, Share Like United States license. You can find out more about that license at creativecommons.org. And look at Rev3 Dude gifting out more subs to people.
He's like he's Santa Claus.
There he goes. Yeah, he's making it rain. He's making it rain. Now, chat, if you want to get in touch with us, if you want to reach out, there's always our voicemail at 703-791-1701. You can also leave us a message on WhatsApp. You can also use the WhatsApp app. And the WhatsApp app. And you can go on ahead and drop us a voicemail that way. You can also drop us an email at t@tmorris.com or
pip@pjvalentine.com.
If you drop a message at pjvalentine.com, I guarantee you she's going to return it.
Slightly more likely than I'll return.
Slightly more than I will. But anyway, that wraps up our show. Stick around for the for the post show, and we appreciate you all being here. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Enjoy the ride.
Catch you later. Gamer Kitty is so happy.
Kitty is so chill right now. It is amazing how Gamer Kitty...
turns out that we discovered he was in a bit more pain. He's got arthritic back and tail, and pain was not making him very pleasant.
No, he wasn't.
He was being very sneaky and slinky, and now he's just sitting here chilling with us. He's a good boy.
So let me just fix this. There's a problem with my feed. Hold on a minute. This will only take a second, chat.
Yes. Meanwhile, Kitty. We don't have Kitty Cam though.
Hey Nick, do me a favor. Post a message real quick. Just post a quick howdy chat. I just want to check something here.
That we can actually see.
No. I just want to make sure of one little detail that I've just added to the channel. I just want to make sure that it's working.
Gamer Kitty did not let you.
There it is.
What did it do?
Nick is now a moderator in my
Nick's
chat.
a mod. Of course he should be.
He's
been on the show so many damn times.
He wields the sword now. So
he
now
is the banhammer.
He's got power of the banhammer. So there you go, Nick.
Yes.
Mazel tov, baby.
You're welcome.
You know, remember, Nick, with great power comes great responsibility.
No, don't disturb.
Remember, Nick. Remember.
You're not. Oh, God. Don't disturb Gamer Kitty.
But shut the F up, Donnie. Hey, come on, Nick. Let's go bowling. All right. Anyway. Am I the only one who's gonna shit here about the rules? Mark it 0. I need that.
So we got some couple ideas for some new shows.
Yeah, we actually do, and we're still taking ideas. By the way,
if anyone has any ideas or questions,
this is a post show. This is not going to be.
This is not aired. This is exclusive.
This is where you find a stranger in the Alps. Exactly. So anyway, yeah, we this is the post show. This is where we just sit and we riff for a bit.
If you have any questions for us or any suggestions for shows in the future that you might like to see.
Those of you who are showing up late, thank you very much. This is the post show for The Shared Desk. This is a writing podcast that my wife and I create together as part of this channel. This is primarily a Destiny channel, although this week you wouldn't know it because this week
barely had any Destiny.
Man, I've had some Destiny on Thursday, but then Friday and Saturday belong to The Last of Us
and The Witcher
and The Witcher. And the stream finally started working again. I'm not sure what's going on your end, Arkle, because I'm looking at my dropped frames right now, and I've only dropped 81 frames, which means we're cooking with gas over there. But yeah, I should say we. I have been gaming in The Last of Us Friday and this morning.
So much screaming.
Wow, that is one terrifying game. As
people who have mushrooms for eyeballs, that would probably be
that would do
a sign that it's going to be a little scary.
So
but I had the botchling to deal with, so
you had the botchling, so there is that. Okay, so here's what we've got so far for ideas. Going back, doing another callback episode about a writer's kit and giveaway swag. We focused on giveaway swag. We didn't focus on the actual writer's kit. The writer's kit was the thing where we had that box that we always carry around with like hand sanitizer, pens, and stuff like that.
Well, back in the day when you did a survival guide to writing fantasy, that was your most famous.
No,
wasn't it?
No, business cards. Business cards.
Would you really do a whole episode on them now? I would think you would deal with business cards by saying they're in your kit, and here's what you should have on them.
No. I did an entire episode on business cards. I talked about what to have on a business card and what not to put on a business card. And the reason I said that was because at one time, Tony Ruggiero, good buddy, good friend of the stream, Tony Ruggiero, he had a whole bunch of business cards with his book covers on them. And then when he got the books reprinted, he still had hundreds and hundreds of these business cards with old covers.
Yeah, our business cards do not have covers on them. They just got pictures of us.
And I remember back in the day, there were some people that did business cards that had their phone number.
We forgot to show people.
Yeah, because we were in a rush.
I know.
We were in a rush.
Well, you can pull it up on your
can I?
I don't know.
Oh, actually, yes, I can. Hold on a minute.
So, to celebrate 100 episodes, we went ahead.
And this is good. This is cool because you guys get to see it in the after show.
Yes, this is the secret thing.
Yeah. It's not super secret.
It's not. It won't be secret next week when we launch it onto
You put it in the alpha, right?
I think so. Yeah, and it should be under. I think it's under podcasting. Is there a podcasting?
There's podcasting for dummies, photographs and events.
Or just click on the top level podcasting thing and see if it's there.
There is none.
Oh.
There's podcasting seminar. There's podcasting for dummies. Where'd you put it, honey? Where'd you put it?
Well, I'm not in your chair, so I can't look where it is.
Oh, for Pete's sake. Come on over here, then. Come on over here.
I'm going to find it.
We're live and riffing, everybody. So pop quiz.
You can't even see me anyway, right?
From pop quiz, from when we met, do you know what I have from your promotional materials?
Ooh, I don't know. Business
bookmarks? I was thinking bookmarks.
Go into audio.
Honey, why are you putting everything in audio? Okay, that makes sense, actually. Never mind.
Yeah.
Snippet, TSD, Rock and Bake. Nope. I didn't put it there. Are you sure you put it here?
I did put it in there.
You're killing me, woman.
I sent it to you as well.
BOT. Books of the Order.
Right. Hey, BOT.
Go check Books and Brawn on Twitter mentions. It'll surprise you.
Images various? Try that. I don't know. Images various.
I love you, darling, but man.
I think it was called TSD. I could search for it.
Ugly sweater.
No one wants to see the ugly sweater.
Oh, kidding! Everybody wants to see the ugly sweater. All right, hang on a minute.
I can go get it on my. I'll show you on my on my phone.
Yeah, that's great, honey. That's fantastic. Nope. Are you sure you even put it on here? Oh, come on, honey.
Well, you keep talking. I'll go get my computer and move it.
All right, that'd be great. So, fun fact, that book I mentioned, Yanking from Lulu, I gave a copy of it. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of hope he lost it. Yeah, well, that's something that might be something else that I know that we talked about that in one of the shows. One of the shows I know we talked about was definitely a show about how and I think we were kind of dancing around it in the lessons learned. It was one that we did with the Kellys, and it was lessons learned from a blog tour. And there were some folks that we were working with in the writing group that we were doing this blog tour with that honestly did not have a clue how they worked. One guy used the same blog post for every stop he did on his blog tour. And I told him, I said, dude, you got to give me some original content. Give me some original content. He gave me 4 lines of, I'm working on a new book, and here's the selection. And then he put the selection. I'm just like, oh my God. And we did, I think we did mention in that podcast, I think we mentioned that there was a real problem that these authors had because they were trying to sell their books to each other, which is not the way authors sell books. You need to sell books not to other authors. And sometimes, and that's been one of the things that I actually stopped doing it very early in my career. I used to give books away. I used to give books away to authors all the time. Now and not just authors, but some celebrities that I would meet at some of the media cons. And I've stopped doing that. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to reserve this for people who are in that area of my fandom where I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to reserve it. Like let's say I met I'm trying to think of somebody famous that I would meet that I'm a fan of. Okay, here's one. What if I met one of the lead actors from The Expanse? Okay. What I would do is I would give them a copy. I would give a copy of it, of maybe Ministry or maybe the anthology, but I'd give them a copy of it and say, "This is for all the hours of entertainment you gave me. I'm hoping I can return the favor." And that would be it. But I've been I've stopped giving away copies of books, especially to other authors, because I find that sometimes authors have a tough time reading other people's works. Not necessarily because they're worried about contamination of ideas or anything like that. It's more about I just don't have time. I mean, I haven't read for fun in a long time, and that's just the way I think it is. Now, Pip has been actually setting aside some time to read as well.
Yeah,
but it's been mainly for research. That's the thing.
No, I read 2 YA books in January that weren't for anything. But
that's right, you did. One you really liked. The other one you were kind of meh about.
No, that was last year's one. I read Blackwing's Beating, which is a really good YA series with a really well imagined world. But right now I'm reading Pride and Prejudice and Sense and Sensibility and all of those sort of things.
Yeah.
And that's purely for.
I didn't get a chance to ask you this on the podcast, but or the actual content that was going to be for the podcast. Do you have a favorite episode?
Ooh. I tend to have favorite episodes, the ones that have really amazing memories.
Yeah.
With like friends and stuff or events. So I really like the one with Verena, and all of the Smoky Writers ones as well, because that event has become such a big part of our lives.
Yeah, it really has. It really has.
It's great when you can't connect to the alpha server, and it just decides that it's not gonna.
Again, we were putting this show together in a hurry because So let me
Because I have the documents
I know you
here.
do. Let me go on ahead and back up a bit. The reason why we were a little punchy, let me rephrase that.
You were a little
I was a
punchy.
little punchy, was because we were teaching the kiddo a lesson tonight. The lesson was quit with the privilege. You need to learn that maybe you need to appreciate some of the stuff that's in your life. And
Such as the fact that we have dinner on the table every day, right?
Yeah, exactly. She'll come, she'll sit at the table, she'll start dinner, and she'll say something. Oh, the chicken tastes funny, or
No, it's a bit bland.
It's a bit bland, or I don't really like this. And she makes these comments, and we're just like,
You really don't understand
right.
what goes into.
yeah. So we finally said, okay, you know what? You're making dinner. You're making dinner one night.
A week.
One night a week, you're going to make dinner. Tonight was the first night. Now, here's the thing that happened, though.
Okay, I put them in our Dropbox shared work folder.
Okay, shared work folder.
Because I can't connect with the alpha.
Guess what? I don't have a Dropbox on here.
Okay, then
Hang on. There's one other thing I can do.
Oh, I can
The
share.
magic of us, chat. The magic of us.
It is truly magical.
Hang on.
It is truly
I actually
magical.
do have access. I'm just doing it through the. I'm just doing it through here. Hold on.
Please hold,
For some reason, I
Please
can't.
hold.
The alpha drive has.
Has decided now, when you really need it,
To not work.
To not work. Okay, you said you put it where? Shared works.
Hold on. Hotter.
Shared works. Where?
Shared works. It's there. It's called shared desk.
Shared desk transparent and shared desk JPEG. All right,
Yeah.
here you go. All right, so, and I'm going to download it.
Yeah,
Bam.
take them out of there if you want.
There we go. And saved image. There we are. Now we're cooking with gas, chat. Now we're cooking with gas. All right. We're gonna go to shared desk and
Got some interesting things on there, like karaoke badges. Why have we got karaoke badges?
the reason we have karaoke badge is because we actually I used that as artwork for the PIY. PIY 2017.
Well,
Which may be making a return thing.
it would be interesting. wouldn't
Okay.
it?
All right, chat. So let me go on ahead and let me
Share it.
just drop this in. I'm going to drop this in raw so you can all see it. This is the new artwork that we've got.
Because we noticed our artwork was not.
No, it wasn't bad. Our
Yeah.
artwork wasn't bad. It just wasn't. It just
No, but I meant also the banner and the.
Yeah, the banner was like old
page.
school. We were like, we need to fix that. So
It was literally one that was like the
it
default.
was the default. Yeah, it was books, but it was still the default.
Yeah, it was the default books.
So let's go on ahead and let me show you what it was that we've commissioned here. Denise Lannon is the artist's name, and
Is Nick still on? He's probably got his. Denise did some work for the Kellys as well.
oh really?
Yeah.
What did they do? What did they do?
New show artwork.
oh really? For ADHD D&D?
Yeah, I think it's for the Geek Wolf podcast.
Sweet as.
Geek Wolf.
So Denise created this for us, and I think it turned out great. Here we go. Ready, everybody?
It's very cool.
It's very cool, and there it is. Gonna go on ahead and
So that's
shrink
going to
it
be
down.
our show art for.
This is going to be our new show art. That's our new show art, everybody. Nick, what do you think? That's the new artwork. That's gonna drop with this show. So you're gonna see this pop up on on show 100. You're gonna see it in Spotify. You're gonna see it elsewhere. Yeah. And she does great work. So, and here's the other thing, chat. If you are a streamer, she is also doing emotes.
Emotes, yeah.
So I know that the next round that we're gonna have of artwork, or that I'm gonna have of emotes, I'm pretty sure she's gonna do it. She's definitely gonna do it. Whoop, that's not going nowhere. This is what I want to change. There we go. But I think her artwork is just dynamo. I think it turned out great. And it looks good small. It looks good big. But this is Denise Lennon, I believe is the way her last name is pronounced. Do you have an email for her? I know she's working on a website.
If you want to contact her, come and email me.
Yeah. Email Pip at
Email
PJValentine.com.
me and I will make introductions because that's what I did with the Kellys.
Yep. And so anyway, that's she actually did some absolutely fantastic art. And when you see us in another 2 weeks, this is going to be basically the theme of the layout. For,
I'm probably
going
to get this podcast out in the next.
Well, no, what I'm saying is that the
from now on, yeah,
like the stream template. The stream template is currently the picture of me and Pip from Vegas, which is nice. But we were like, we need something that
is a little professional.
We need something a little more fun
and professional at the same time.
And when we we're talking, all we did was like, well, you've heard our show, Denise. What come up? We're interested to see what you come up with. And this was the first draft.
Yes, and we were like,
she came out of the box with this, and we were just like, wow, wow. I mean. The only thing she had to change, and I'll have to zoom this in again. Hold on. The only thing she had to change on it was she said, "Was there anything you want to change?" I was like, "Yeah, put some gray in my beard, because I need some gray in my beard." And sure enough, she did.
Yeah.
So she nailed it. She knocked it out of the park. She did. She knocked it out of the park. Is the ADHD streamed, or if it is, can I get a link? Well, now that he's a mod, Nick, you can drop in a link. And so feel free to drop in a link to ADHDDND.com.
Where you will hear such excitement as me wrestling dinosaurs.
Not for another few years.
Another few years.
We might have to have a time travel episode where where we jump ahead to 2019, 2020, because I really do think that the shenanigans that we got up to in this as a D&D team.
Maybe you do like
and then or you can have me actually, Nick, here's another option. Another option, Nick, is you have me coming in doing my best Ted night, and I come in going, meanwhile at the Hall of Justice 20 years ago, and then you flash back to earlier episodes. I don't know. What about me? What about me though? What about me?
What about you?
Favorite episode?
Yeah.
Favorite episode? Man, oh Shevitz.
I always like the ones when we break down, like we did Batman v Superman and the Suicide Squad. Those sort of things are interesting to me because they're like, we usually have somebody come in, or it's just people have seen those things, and I don't know, maybe they don't think they're written. And we're like, hey, a writer did this. Maybe they should have worked on a little longer.
If I wasn't happy with the vaporware banner I have for my YouTube channel, this is someone I'd want to talk to about a logo. This is really cool. Yeah,
she does do logos.
No, she does logos. She's now getting in Twitch emotes. My next round of Twitch emotes is going to come from Denise. I mean, I don't have anything against Zarabelle.
She hasn't. She's working on getting a website up, so. Yeah. As soon as she has it, we will absolutely be posting that.
My favorite episodes have been when we actually do breakdowns of stuff that's happening in the industry.
Like writers being bad and
not just like the implosion, but like one of my favorite episodes was actually this one where we talked about when Amazon has Shetlock Horns, authors take critical hits.
Yeah.
That was a favorite of mine. I mean, the pop culture ones where we look at it from a writer's perspective. The one where we talked, actually, I remember this one. Game of Thrones, hot buttons and responsibility from a writer's point of view. We were talking about the big R, and how not the big R's in George R.R. Martin, but the big R in Game of Thrones that happened often, especially in that particular season.
Yes,
that was the season that Sansa was. Forcibly deflowered, if you will. And there was
she got raped.
Well, okay.
There you go.
Okay, fine.
She got raped. I no way to beat around it.
Yeah. Pardon the pun, beating around the bush. But the thing is...
Inappropriate.
Sorry, hang on a minute. This is for me.
Inappropriate.
There we go.
That's a good thing this is recorded.
Yeah, this is sometimes the joys of riffing off years because
Yes.
we're just
Otherwise, I just have to spend a lot of time
editing it and trying to make it make sense. But now the pop culture shows are fun, but I personally enjoy it when we talk about that. When we talk about like stuff that's very business related, and we talk about like the recent implosion with the RWA.
Here we are. Sorry, I was just scrolling through Denise's things. She does RPG characters. She does book covers.
Mm-hmm.
She does Twitch emojis. She also does business cards, and she also has a social media package.
There we go.
So yeah, I'm going to save this post so I can find it.
Did anybody in chat have any questions for us before we wrap up for the evening? I mean,
so I can go and slay some more monsters.
Oh, that's right. She's going to go slay some more monsters. I'm going to hopefully wrap up a chapter. I am now, if everything works out, the first draft of Discord for Dummies will be done by the end of tomorrow. I hope. This has been a hard book for me to write. I won't lie to you, chat.
Yeah.
I will not lie to you. Discord for Dummies has been absolutely tough to write.
Especially the last third of it.
Yeah. The last third of it's been a particular thing because I've literally run out of stuff to write. I have run out of stuff to write, and I'm trying to figure out what to write. I'm trying to figure out what am I missing? Am I missing anything in particular? Have I hit everything that I need to hit? That kind of thing.
Well, that's why it's lucky we've got a teenager in the house.
Well, a teenager who is in my opinion a power user of
yes, and she's also studying writing. So
yeah, but we sat down with her.
We're growing our own editor.
Yeah, she's been a trooper.
It's going to save us money, right? One day.
One day. All right, if no questions for us, did anybody have any topics that they wanted to see us cover on the show? It's very quiet tonight.
It's very quiet, but that's okay. Yeah. We can go and you can finish your book, and I will go and finish it.
You'll finish it. All right, then we're going to go ahead and wrap up. I'm going to let AutoHost do its thing. But I appreciate each and every one of you being here. Thank you all so much. It has been a blast being here. It's been a blast having some fun. Oh, wait. There is one thing I wanted to do. Nick said he wanted me to go to... Oh, my God. One of the promotional items that he's got are the little lapel buttons that we have.
Oh.
Of Books and Brawn.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God. Look at those buttons. Jeez.
I think we might still have one or two around ourselves.
One or two are still hanging out. Yeah, those are collector's items now, buddy. Those are collector's items now. Wow. Fan-friggin-tastic, Nick. Fan-friggin-tastic. All right. So I'm going to go on ahead and let the AutoHost do its thing again. Thank you all for hanging out with us. It's been an absolute blast. We will see you again in a couple of weeks. Happy Hour from the Tower may be happening tomorrow because we may have actually Ron in studio.
Ooh, but it won't be till later though.
I know, that's why I'm kind of playing it by ear just to see when he's getting in. But thank you everybody. We're going to call it a night. Take care of yourselves. Have a great Saturday night. Thanks for watching us. Take care. Peace.
Bye.